Hello, everyone. My name is Tomek. And this is Gosia, my partner. We divided our presentation into two parts. I will start and then hand it over to Gosia. We are Studio Rygalik working out of Warsaw. This little advert was here just to show you one of our projects that Gosia will later talk a little bit more in detail about. We are a studio working mostly on product designs, primarily in the furniture industry. But we also have this part of our work that we just call experiments, and this is our laboratory where we work with cultural institutions. We start independent projects, self-initiated work that is fueling our creative juices within the studio. There is between 5 and 10 of us, depending on the workload that we have, and we want to keep it small. And just to give you a little bit of an introduction of our design thinking and philosophy, I'm showing a project from exactly 10 years ago. It's one of my school projects. As I went back to school after a few years of working for one of the leading design consultancies out of New York, and I decided to quit my senior design position, stop and smell the roses, and think deeper about design and its potential beyond the commercial aspects. A bit tired with a little bit of moral dilemmas, having to be on the dark side in the world with the raging consumptionism. So this is quite self-explanatory. Why do you need a vase if you have most of it at home already? It's a small ceramic design that complements pieces that you already have in your cupboards. My big interest always was in looking into potentials of material properties, and this project done for a competition was examining porcelain as a material which with a big limitation, it just breaks, and then when it breaks, it's sharp and cuts your fingers, and that's the end of the ceramic product when it breaks. And I try to think resourcefully about reversing it, and here the function is born once you break it. And this resourcefulness, having to do with first image and this image, is throughout our work till today. Later, I conceived some other projects that have to do with structure, production methods, or just simple observations of function, how you switch on the light by unscrewing the bulb. So it's like a lamp switch and the shade in one piece. This kind of resourceful thinking, trying to find what's already there for us to use, and without reinventing the world, is somewhere in the back of our heads. For example, one of our early projects, rug has frizzles, and they're usually just collecting the dust. What if you just give them a little bit of function, and then all these possibilities, color, composition, come out? And this is the kind of synergy that we look at while working on different projects. Or here, project done for Warsaw Marathon, where every participant could personalize their T-shirt with the time they score in the marathon. Another recent project, consumer electronic. I somewhat ran away from doing this type of work, houseware, consumer electronics and stuff, consumer products, but this actually has a deeper reflection here, which has to do with actually switching off. This flips over and you just are disconnected. So it's something opposite that the product actually promises as a smart watch. Today I will show you our working with one of our major clients, Moroso, very important company in the furniture business. Then I will bring you some Polish stories, recent stories of design brands, emerging design brands, and how we help them through design to establish their brands first locally and then going out to the wider audience internationally. And then, as Poland is one of the biggest manufacturers of furniture in the world, second after China, in the kilograms of furniture shipped out from the country, and it does not have any established design brand in furniture industry, we partner with three biggest supplying manufacturers specializing in three different industries. One, ProfiM, is mastering the metal and supplying to the best and biggest companies in the world in the furniture business. Comforty is the biggest sofa manufacturer in Europe, one of the biggest in the world actually, with factories also in the States and so on. And Paget, one of the biggest wooden chair suppliers internationally. So how to transform them from the original, just traditional manufacturing business model to original design manufacturers, and then later on to original brand manufacturers, and this whole process would help to facilitate through design. It's our specialty in the studio. And then Gosia will move on to more experimental projects like the one you've seen at the beginning. A lot of them have to do with food, because we love food, and it's a big passion of Gosia, and she will share some of this passion with you briefly at the very end. So for me, it all started with an experiment with leather. I put some rawhide leather into water, put it on the frame, metal frame, simple, pull out the frame. I did it all in less than a week. And then this piece, self-supporting chair, came out. It was one of my school experiments, nothing serious. And that was it. But some time later, I was cycling through the park in London, and this Italian voice came up on the phone, very Italian, heavy accent, and this lady said, "Tomek, this is Patrycja Moroso. I've seen your piece. Ron Arat, your professor, showed me this piece, or told me about this piece, I don't even know. And you know, I really want to meet the person who is behind this, because we've been working with some really important designers on self-supporting pieces, and we have not managed to achieve this successful resolution for the last couple of years, and you just done it so easily. And please come to Udine in Italy, and we'll work on it to show it in Milan. And this is a very important piece for me, because it launched me into the furniture industry, which is my majority of our work today. But rawhide comes from leather, from cows, the same size anywhere you go in the world. And there is a limitation, also cost problem, and some other issues having to do with putting it in production as a series. So why not swapping into a metal mesh, which comes in the roll? Also, you can see the concept that it is self-supporting, that the other one you have to lift up. It's super light and unbelievably light piece. In this case, it's all visible, but this project got stuck. Mold was too expensive, and Patrycja told me, do something that we can easily do. Why do you come up with this crazy, complicated stuff? So I was just thinking like a student, you know, okay, what if I get inspired by a tennis ball? And this is how this tennis chair came out, which became the first very successful product that we've done for Moroso. And since then, we've been regularly showing in different exhibitions around the world with Moroso. This is an image from Milan in April, launching a new chair for them, which uses some bent wood, actually supplied by a Polish company. And the stool that is somewhat formally related to the chair, even though it's in metal, so it's a completely different type of product, the bar stool, based on a very unusual geometry. This is images from the show. And so using some of this experience working with Moroso on new pieces also for the next year, we gather certain experience and knowledge that somehow became attractive to some new companies, some companies that are just set up a few years ago in Poland as the design scene in Poland is emerging. And the Noti and Iker. And I will just show you a few pieces. One is actually a development of my school project I showed you before, done in upholstery. That's with Iker. It's for public space. Then there is this bread and butter, we call it upholstery piece that is very compact, low cost of production, and it's very popular. It's sold in a lot of pieces, become very successful in particularly in the contract office interiors, and it has a lot of good energy. For Noti, as new brands need to have stand-out pieces. I mean, often the bread and butter pieces sell better, but they need pieces that build the image. And this was the challenge that the owner of this company brought to the studio. And this is how this piece came out. It gives possibilities for different space configurations, even when you're tired of someone. And just to tell you, surprisingly, this somewhat challenging piece for a customer has become one of the top sellers because it became like a nice toy to play with for the interior designers. And now I go to the third level of these big companies that have expertise in doing something in a very sophisticated way for the best companies in the world. And now, because cost of production, not dissimilarly as here, is going up, they are now looking for new ways to develop their businesses for the future, for the children, and so on. So ProfiM is one of them. It's a metal company, primarily. And so our design tasks had to do with actually going straight into the core of the competency, where their strength is, and use it to establish a certain design language associated with what is rooted deep in the company, which is the production methods and expertise. This is made out of tubes that are CNC cut. The actual sections just flow one into the other. It's very difficult to be done in a small workshop. They can do it very easily, and this is a hanger piece. One of the first pieces that we've done. They're also very good at tube bending and manipulation with CNC on the big scale, and they also pour foam for upholstery seats for companies in Scandinavia, and we have used these two in combination, and that's as kind of a seat hanging in the frame, bent out of tube. You can see some more images of that and it in use. And then this very simple principle of modular office furniture came up, and it became the best seller and top seller, and it developed the market in Germany, which was very strategic. It's quite difficult for a Polish company to ship to Germany because it's a very closed, it's difficult to compete, not being there, for a newcomer especially. And this wall-in system, modular system, really is doing quite well. I mean, I don't want to brag too much, but it's totally making it happen for the company in the export market. So they're already expanding the brand outwards. I will just show you a few images, what possibilities it gives. And now I'm moving to the third collaboration with Comforty, which has been the longest so far. This is the sofa company. And it all started with this experimental project. I was at the art residency in Norway. Beautiful place, beautiful studio. Started making things. Part of our way of thinking and working is to work with your hands. We've made this piece, and that's a beautiful surrounding. This was done for the artists in residence, so they can lay down and relax. And then later we put it in production with Comforty. It became the kind of iconic piece of the collection, and then started thinking about what this collection should look like as a creative director. And we've done a lot of work with sofas, foldable. We introduced table systems to the upholstery company, creating a whole range of products. Then you have a table, you need a chair. If you have a chair, you need a low seat, and traditional upholstery with added functions where comfort is the primary characteristic of the DNA of the company that has comfort in the name. So a lot of prototypes, making it more and more comfortable. And then this experiment with Corian led to, which is normally associated with a flat sheet material for tabletops or kitchens. Here, showing a little bit more potential of the materials, has become another icon of this brand. And so on. Pieces that are contemporary, but sometimes end up in very traditional interiors. This is an opera house in Warsaw. Or like this, with this table done for the head of the stock exchange in Warsaw with height adjustability. It's all about innovating within the upholstery business as well. This doesn't have a frame inside either, like most upholstery pieces. Its form is not preconceived by a designer. It is done. It derives from the way of actually constructing it together. I will just flick through some more Comforty images, as we don't have so much time. I think there's a little bit too many images I have here to show you. But some of the pieces also has created a very important project for the Polish presidency, where in very humble colors, fitting in many different interiors in Brussels and also in cities in Poland, they have represented Poland on the international arena, became products. We use them thoroughly, change them, develop variations, and so on. And the new collaboration is with Paget, the wooden company, and you will see the new face of Paget in Milan. I won't go too much into it, but it's a massive chair. Manufacturer with a toned tradition, with wood bending, and we're using this expertise that they have, this craftsmanship, to now transform it into a contemporary design offer. I pass it now to Gosia to talk about.
Thank you. As you already noticed, we have expertise in furniture design, but as Tomek has mentioned, we are also interested in food. This is one of the experimental projects that combines in an untypical way the interest in furniture and the interest in food. These were the baguette tables, part of the what we call the Total Bread experience, presented at the Vienna Design Week 2 years ago. This was a workshop, very ephemeral project, just to talk about the problem of food waste and what to do with it. We like food, we like to play with food, we like to try to redefine constantly the idea of food design. We understand it very widely. As you can see in the right bottom corner, we play with food as a matter. We do workshops dealing with food itself, but also we create spaces to experience food, to experience drink. We design furniture for restaurants and bars, sometimes very unique pieces. We do culinary experiences, we do food, we do beverage bottles. You will see some of the projects in a minute. So one of the first projects of this kind was a project for Absolut vodka. We create what we called Absolut space, created with a system of boards connected with hinges that made self-supporting structures. We created this ephemeral space outside and inside of a very known Warsaw cafe. A space that resembles maybe ice cubes or ice itself, a space to experience the Absolut vodka and good company in a new way. Then another drink that inspired us was the Heineken, as you have already seen in the movie. We designed the bottle of the future, but with us it was a very down-to-earth project. We dipped a simple aluminum bottle in a rubber paint, the same paint that you use for tool handles. And we designed also a bottle opener that doubles up as a bottle stopper. And another outcome of the collaboration with Heineken was the Heineken Design Pavilion. It was designed for the one of the biggest music festivals in Europe, called the Heineken Open Air, which takes place at the Polish seaside in the summer. We created this wooden structure covering the facade of the pavilion. This was a space for the people to enjoy music, good company, and the beer. We also designed a furniture set complementing this pavilion that you see here. This is another bottle, not an alcoholic drink this time. This is a very special kind of oil, rapeseed oil, which rapeseed is very common in Poland, but the extra virgin cold-pressed oil is not really known. Everyone loves olive oil. Nobody really knows about this one, so we were asked by this brand to create, to help them promote their very unique product. We created this special event for the Łódź Design Festival, which is the major design event in Poland. A special event to let the people know the product, to let the people interact with the product, to let the people taste the product in an unconventional way. You see some of the pictures here. And how we did this? We created this project we called The Kitchen. It doesn't really remind you of the kitchen probably, but it is how we understand the kitchen in some way. It is like a playground. It is a space to experiment, to have fun, to interact with food, to have a new way of culinary experience. So you will see the objects briefly here. I will not go into the function. You can just imagine that these are not regular kitchen utensils. Maybe the most traditional function was the bar stool. With the kitchen, we traveled around Poland, around the world. We went to Milan, for example. It was exhibited in a gallery space. We hosted workshops and many different kinds of events with this project. And the latest project we did in collaboration with Siemens. They asked us to help promote the brand as a brand for home appliances. And what we got from them was this very advanced induction plate without, where you can, it's called the free induction. You can place the pots anywhere you like. So we created a very playful and open system. It's a mobile kitchen called Siemens Food Lab, equipped with this advanced induction plate, a set of furniture pieces, very down to earth, with thick wooden butcher block tabletops, with very stable steel frames that make the tables stackable. So you can take this culinary workshop anywhere you like and create a new culinary experience every time. We did this already a few times. You will see some pictures from the Łódź Design Festival and from some other venues. We like to gather people around food and design. We have great fun from this. And the last thing I will tell you about is the design aperitivo. Some of the pictures from events you have seen were hosted by us under the brand Design Aperitivo that we created. It's they are informal meetings of creative community. We want to bring the creative people together, to bring them around good food, good drinks, and good design. And hopefully we can meet with you on one of these events somewhere soon. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you.